Welcome back to day 3 of the Case IH morning show here live at the World Ag Expo in Tulare, California. This is our last and final day. We have had 2 days already of morning show, and today we are coming to you one more time from the final day.
I know, a bittersweet ending, but we still have a lot planned for you guys. So don't go anywhere. Make sure you stay tuned. It's going to be a jam-packed day. If you are new to this and you missed yesterday's and Tuesday's videos, we are your hosts. My name is Natalie. I'm a cattle rancher from Nebraska.
And I'm Tara, a dairy farmer from New Mexico. And we are the co-hosts of the Discover Ag podcast, where food meets pop culture. And every single week, we cover the top 3 trending news articles in the ag and food space.
We're kind of like a Mike Rowe's Dirty Job meets food and agriculture, but with a millennial female twist.
That's a mouthful, but that pretty much just sums it up. And so we are your host here every single morning at the World Ag Expo, and we are bringing you everything that is happening live in Tulare here at the Case IH booth, as well as bringing you all of the happenings around the show.
Yeah, it's really important to us that you guys are able to experience what's going on at the Case IH booth. We know not everyone can make it to all the farm shows that is across the nation, and you can't make it to the World Ag Expo. And so our job is to bring it to you in the comfort of your own home. And I will say that yesterday was another jam-packed day that we did.
Yeah, we had another interview. We talked about what was going on, the events around the World Ag Expo. Our interview was really fantastic. We had Brian with Baylor Automation. So we went into all the details about Baylor Automation. And then on Tuesday, if you missed Tuesdays, we had a great interview with Terry and Nick, and we were getting into the specialty tractors. And then we have one more interview for you today. We are bringing you an interview from our 2 case experts, Jay and Jeff, and we're going to be talking about the broad range tractors that are offered here at the Case IH. And a lot of them are actually here on site at Case IH.
I know. I did a quick tally because I was curious how many tractors actually are on, and we're just under 20. Case rolled out. Yeah.
That's a lot of tractors. And there's tractors I have absolutely never seen before. There's, we're in California, so there is a lot of like tree specialty tractors, and they are different looking than our regular cattle and corn tractors.
That is one thing we noticed walking around the show yesterday, that when we were speaking with people too, coming to a show like this is fun, especially if you're from different areas of the country where you don't get to see some of this more specialty agriculture that they have in California. Yep. I saw some things I never have seen before, and I doubt I will ever see when I head back to Nebraska again.
Natalie saw one of the tractors that was a tree trimming, and she was like, it looks like a fair ride, looks like a carnival ride.
Yep.
It was not. It is a tractor. But yeah, there is so much here to offer. We actually started out yesterday in the Case IH booth talking with the farmers and the people that were coming through to see the tractors, and it was so amazing talking with all of them.
Yeah, so each day we kind of focused maybe on a little bit of different discussion points with people coming in and out of the case lot. And yesterday's we really got to kind of meet and converse with a lot of the older generations that were walking through. And we talked about the reel's actually going to be up on the Case IH page today. We talked about their greatest advice they have for the younger generations. And it was really fun to hear a lot of the different answers.
Yeah, they had such a broad range of advice, from like basically get sleep when you can.
Yeah.
To,
sleep is valuable.
Sleep is valuable to, hard work. I also though really loved some of the conversation from the older generation asking and conversing with us about like, how do we get people that are younger excited about ag, get excited about being in farming? It's been a tough year here in California, and we heard that sentiment a lot. And how do we go keep people wanting to be a part of it? And I feel like we heard a lot of conversation about, you have to have a passion for it. You got to have it. It's got to be in your heart and soul. And I loved it. There were so many times that you could just feel the emotion and the power from our farmers giving advice.
Yeah, a lot of them we had to kind of dig maybe a little deeper for some responses.
There was a lot
because
of people very nervous to get on camera and talk with us.
But like you said, a lot of them was like talking about the passion originally, which was, it's great to see and hear across the board. I mean, we know that being producers in this industry, that's one of the things that's like at the root of what all of we do is like that passion for this lifestyle that we have. I will say that the 2 gentlemen we were talking with, they came all the way down from Canada to this farm show, which was pretty cool to see, like how far people come.
Of people from across the world coming. Yeah, those were both from Canada. They were vegetable farmers in Canada. It was really cool to hear their story, their location, why they came down. And I think that's a theme we keep seeing over and over again of why people are traveling to the show. It's such a unique show. It's unlike any other show you're going to see anywhere else, I think, because of how diverse the agriculture is here.
Well, and even the locals we were talking about too were just saying that they enjoy visiting the show because one specifically was talking about how, and I think this is like a great point for the case lot too, is, you know, if you spend a lot of time at your local dealer, sometimes you're talking to the same people, which great, you know, it's great. We have good relationships with them and it's good to have those solid relationships with your local dealer. But if you come to a show like this, you get exposed to new people, you know, you can ask new questions and you get to see, as we've mentioned multiple times, products that maybe you don't get to see at your local dealership or even like some of your local farm shows as well.
Yeah. And I feel like the experts, like even here on the case booth, there's such a wide range of experts. So if you needed to talk to someone about, you know, something very specific about a tractor, like the people are here. Everyone is here to talk with you and give you that expert advice.
Every corner you turn is like a case employee.
Yeah, a case
they are waiting.
expert that is ready to talk with you. So yeah, it's such a great place to be able to come and just get exposed to something new and different. We talked about the older generation, but I'm not gonna lie, we had a couple of young boys come up to us. They're so cute. If you guys have been following the show, you know we've been giving away case merch and we've been giving away Discover Ag merch. And so we had some young boys that came up, told us our word of the week, and they showed us the video of us, a screenshot. And we're like, is this you guys? And we gave them some case merch for sure and made their day. I'm absolutely convinced.
They were hot after the case merch. That's
what they were like, we don't care who you are, but you said we get merch.
This looks like you. Do you have a hat?
Yeah.
That's basically the moral of the story.
So they got some great hats. It was fantastic.
It is fun. And we've talked about that. So another thing I love about these kind of farm shows and coming out and spending our time like this is you do get exposed to so like the very young to the very old. And there is something so fun about it. Puts you back in like your childhood and reconnects you to kind of the memories you have on the farm and ranch. You know, seeing the kids like playing on the tractors, getting in and out. Just
there's nothing better.
How big their smiles are, like being able to get in that cab behind the tractor. You know, it's like be like mom and dad, right? Like get behind the wheel, take the reins and the ropes. And it's just really fun to see the youth out here.
Well, and getting to see the massive Case IH tractors.
Yeah.
Like the Steiger is here, the quad track. You just see those kids that are just so excited for those big tractors.
One kid had a big Steiger shirt on and he was like
ready.
Checking out the Steiger.
Yeah.
Another thing we've been doing over the last couple of days is our Great 8 Case IH Battle of the Reds Tractor Showdown. And today we are at
down to 2.
Yeah, the last 2, the final 2.
You guys took us, so on Tuesday we had 8. You brought us yesterday on to 4. Yesterday we went from 4 to 2 based on your votes. And are we ready to drop the announcement?
Well, I think maybe we should we go through it briefly in case they haven't watched
that sounds good.
Tuesday or Wednesday's reels. So what we ended up doing is, as Tara said, pairing 8, kind of making a tractor bracket. We paired the
Magnum versus the Steiger.
That was the original pairing. They went head to head. Then we paired the original Farmall versus the electric Farmall. So they went head to head in voting. Then we did the Optum versus the Puma.
Mm-hmm.
And our last one was the
Maxim versus the Vestrum.
Yep. So that moved us into yesterday, which our final 4 were Puma. It's a favorite on our ranch. If you missed yesterday's video,
the Steiger killed the Magnum, which shocked me. So Steiger went on to round 2.
Yep. And then we had the Farmall. No surprise there that carried on. We talked a little bit about that tradition and the love, you know, the Case family has for the Farmall tractor.
And then finally the Maxim.
Mm-hmm.
And so today,
down
to 2.
No surprise. It is the Farmall versus the Steiger.
That one is going to get heated. You guys drop it in the comments if you guys want to cast your vote. We are voting down to the final 2. Is it going to be that Farmall, the classic Farmall, just turned 100 years old last year, or is it going to be the Steiger? I feel like it is like a battle of the history now versus the power.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we heard over and over again about the Steiger having the horsepower. So I'm curious to see what all of you guys think.
And if you are a Case IH buff and you love hearing kind of about the history of the different tractors, our Tuesday video, we actually pulled out a lot of fun facts, a lot of historical facts about these different Case IH tractors, you know, when they came to the market, different things about them, you know, the partnerships, the rollouts, like how all of that looked. So if that is interesting to you, I would go back and watch our Tuesday video because we kind of dove deep into a lot of the different tractors. Yeah.
So this is the championship round. Get voting. We will be voting on Instagram as well. We'll be getting some opinions here at the booth. Tomorrow, we will be announcing the winner on the Case IH Instagram feed. So you're going to want to check that out. And if if you are over at the Case IH Instagram feed, check out our reels we've been making this week. We have been having a ton of fun with all the people here at the booth at Case IH. And so you can check out all of those.
Yesterday's was a Valentine reel. And I have to say,
It was my favorite.
We had to coax heart to get some farmers.
The farmers did not want to participate in the Valentine's Day. The women did.
They're like, we're here for the Case IH red, not the Valentine red.
It was fantastic. So we've talked a lot about the Case IH booth, but going on around the World Ag Expo, this is going to be a sore spot for Natalie, but I have been enjoying the food. Oh my gosh, the tri-tip is everywhere. I said that on Tuesday as well, that I was excited for the tri-tip. I have almost had my fill. I will be getting at least one more tri-tip sandwich today.
Yeah, I will too, because yesterday was Ash Wednesday for me personally. So I was not able to enjoy the tri-tip. I had to. Luckily, there was one booth that was offering an alternative. And so we put some miles around the farm show to find something I could eat on Ash Wednesday.
Natalie ate the clam chowder. I had tri-tip, hot dog. I felt kind of bad, not bad enough to not have it.
Yeah, well, and tri-tip is big here in the area,
Huge.
so I really wanted to.
Barbecuing is going on everywhere. It's that classic Central California tri-tip that you just think of like open, grilling out, smoking. So good.
We also got a lot of rain last night. I've been asking everyone we walked by this morning if they know how much rainfall, how many inches we got, and no one has been able to tell me yet. But I know there were some area farmers that were very interested in, the total rainfall.
I had a local farmer who just DM'd me and he said, not sure how much, but enough to keep us out of the fields. So it was a lot of rain. I know people were kind of, not worried, but it was definitely on their minds how much we were going to get, because this area has been getting really slammed with a lot of rain. I mean, you can tell the moisture is in the air and there is water everywhere.
Another really cool thing walking around yesterday. So we were at a different conference at the beginning of the American Farm Bureau, and they have the top 10
here at the World Ag Expo. They have the top 10 new products, and it's literally thousands of products apply to be in the top 10 new products. Obviously, only 10 get it. It's judged by farmers, ranchers, industry experts. And so we walked around and saw some of those.
But one was a crossover from the American Farm Bureau. It was the winner at the robot.
Yeah, the robot was also at American Farm Bureau, so we knew to keep an eye out for them, and we got to see it. There's a lot of robotics.
There is a lot of robotics going on.
There's
actually, everywhere I turn, there is a tractor.
There's just a tractor driving itself, which is actually something we learned a ton about yesterday with the baler automation from Case, is how much that autonomy is going in to. I mean, the technology is just ramping up. I mean, you have a quote you love that never in agriculture have we gone this fast, and never will we go this slow again.
Yep.
And you feel that here, the excitement of the technology on the horizon. That was actually some of the advice we got from some of our farmers yesterday, was embrace technology. Like, be ready for the change, because things are changing and you can feel it here at the World Ag Expo.
Yeah. And I feel like if there's any industry that knows, about technology, it is. You don't think of it, people outside our industry don't think of it, but man, farming and ranching, there is a lot, I feel like, on the horizon for us when it comes to advancing ourselves and progressing in that technology.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think by now you guys know we are headed into our interview with two Case IH experts, Jay and Jeff. And as we said, we're going to be covering broad range of tractors. Natalie said there's more than 20 tractors right here on site. And so we are going to be talking about exactly what Case IH has to offer, who those products are, what producers those products are best for, and what's, new in the world of tractors. Awesome. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today. Today, we have Jay and Jeff up as our Case IH experts to talk all about a number of different tractors. So let's start off with you guys maybe introducing yourselves and giving your role here at Case IH.
Yes, good morning. I'm Jay Barth. I'm the marketing manager for our Steiger and compact tractors with Case IH.
Hi, good morning. I'm Jeff Akel. I'm global product manager for Case IH. I'm responsible for compacts, loaders, battery electric vehicles, consumer products, and attachments.
That is quite a bit. You sounds like you're in charge of.
Yeah, between both of you, I feel like I've heard every single tractor lineup that we've got.
So we're in good hands here for the rest of the conversation. As we've mentioned multiple times now, Case IH has a broad range. I counted quickly before we started the video, and it was just under 20 you guys have here on the lot itself at the World Ag Expo. You guys go all the way down, starting at the 25 horsepower, and then go all the way up to to the massive Steiger. Maybe let's dive kind of into what the different purposes of each of these different horsepower tractors serve.
So if you look at the tractor lineup, we have tractors for a variety of different applications. Some of them cross over. Some of them are more specific to particular applications. We can start at the top and let's talk about Steiger, we've got a tractor there that's designed primarily for tillage, but as the market has evolved, it's morphed into planting applications. Large grain carts have become common on farms, and that tractor's suited for that in the fall. So once again, it's about tailoring a particular tractor to the job at hand. If you look at our smaller tractors, you have a number of jobs that those little guys can do: mowing, hauling, taking care of cleaning out stalls. Just the list is almost limitless.
Yeah, we I feel like if there was one thing we heard about this week, we had our Great 8 Battle of the Reds on the tractor, and the Steiger was the clear winner against so far it's in our championship round. But the horsepower, we heard about it over and over again, just the amount of horsepower and how excited farmers were for that. But at the exact same time, we also had some people that weighed in and said, I can see why if you're covering a lot of acres, you want that Steiger. But for a farmer that maybe is not having that many acres, there's just different needs. And so maybe we could get into what some of the options are for smaller operators as well as those specialty and livestock producers.
So when you evolve to a little bit more horsepower, you have the Maxim product line, which is a great livestock tractor, work in a variety of applications. Super tractor for a front end loader. We have transmissions specifically designed for that application, our active drive 4 and 8 transmissions. And then the next step up would be our Puma tractors, where once again, it's well suited for livestock, but also starting to evolve into row crop situations where that tractor can fit that particular application of growing crops in a row situation. And the other thing about the Puma, especially in California, is it's well suited for vegetable crops too, where we have a CVX transmission that will allow the speed control that we need in that particular situation for vegetables. And then going up, we have the Optum, which now goes to 340 horsepower, the Magnum tractors, and then we evolve into Steigers.
Yeah. We're speaking as a livestock producer right now. I can say that Puma, that is what we run on our operation, and my husband absolutely loves it. It's hooked to our feed wagon, and it's been hooked to our feed wagon. It stays that way, but every day, that's what it does, and it goes to work, and it does it really well. But I'll have to let him know that if we get tired of livestock, that can easily cross over to vegetables. And so we could make some changes on the ranch if we need to.
Yeah. And for us, the Magnum, I've mentioned it a few times on our morning shows, but that's what we used for planting this fall. And it just did so well for us out there in the field. I joke my husband's favorite word is to say that she's a beaut. She's a beaut. The Magnum's a beaut. So, and that's what we're using. To get into some of now, we covered, the large tractors, the medium tractors, but I want to get into some of the smaller tractors. But before we do that, I do want to talk about the electric. I feel like it is what everyone is kind of buzzing about here at the show. It's sitting right next to us. And so it's just something that's at top of mind for us. It was a winner for a 2024 award. I know personally, I'm really excited about the electric. I think it could offer some really great value to our farm. We have a tractor that runs to push up feed. It would be the ideal tractor for that. And I know of so many other applications for it. So maybe we could get into that electric Farmall.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, the Farmall 75C electric was introduced in Q3 last year. And we took it to the big fair in Germany, the Agritechnica, in November 2023, and obviously won the Machine of the Year for 2024. So it had a lot of very nice tractors that beat out. So we're really pleased with offering it. First time showing here in Tulare, so we're really proud of that as well. It's a 110 kilowatt hour battery. So its normal runtime on that is anywhere from 4 to 8 hours. 4 hours is average for the size for a tractor this size. With mowing applications or with loader applications, you could probably run 6 hours. With transport up to 8 hours. But if you have some disking in the back, you probably can go a little bit less than that, like 3 hours. It's a fully configured tractor with a fully configured cab. It's got a mechanical self-leveling loader. It's got the 360-degree vision system in the roof. All the tech stack is up there, which enables its autonomous features. It's the first fully electric utility tractor with autonomous features that we're offering here.
Talk about technology.
Yeah.
Like that was a mouthful there at the end of
was
what
that a
you
little
were
bit too
saying.
much?
No, that's perfect.
It's exciting. I'm actually so curious. You guys said you rolled it out over in Germany and then you're showing it here for the first time in Tulare. Have you guys heard, like what are some people been saying like when they're seeing it for that first time? Like, do you have any feedback or like initial responses from people?
That's a good question. They're asking a lot of questions about how you drive this thing, the drivability, the performance. It was designed to perform like the diesel tractor. All the operating parameters are the same, but it drives like an electric. So it has zero emissions. It's quiet. It has torque, a 320 Newton meter flat torque curve. So you have instant power all the time. And again, it's really ideally suited for large corporations that have ESGs that they need to targets that they need to meet, or municipalities with strict government regulations as far as emissions, or even a farmer who wants to lower their carbon footprint. But it's really very well suited for greenhouses where you operate indoor or equine training centers.
Oh, that makes a ton of sense with the no emissions. Being an indoor tractor would be fantastic. I mentioned this, but I think being in California, it's worth mentioning again, for those farms that are solar powered, it's a great vehicle to be able to plug in and, run off of your solar panels. Right now, the one we have sitting next to us is actually hooked up with the loader attachment. So it's kind of cool to see and think through all of the different applications that it really can do. I don't want to break your heart about the electric, but we had our great 8 Battle of the Reds, and the classic Farmall beat out the electric Farmall, which I don't think was too much of a surprise. People have a deep love for their Farmalls.
Well, there's no question about that. The Farmall is a very strong tractor in our portfolio, and I'm a little bit disappointed personally, but I'm not. I'm not surprised. The
Did you
Farmall
get
is a
your
very
vote
strong-
in?
Yeah, we should
I
have got
did.
your vote.
I did,
Okay.
But Jay
Good.
apparently got 2 or 3 for the Farmall. So.
Jay was voting every chance he got for the Farmall. I feel like it is just such a historic moment, the Farmall electric on, like the 100-year anniversary of the Farmall. It's kind of a cool moment to reflect back on the history of that Farmall while also looking ahead to like what it could mean as far as being electric and then the autonomy of it.
All right, maybe shifting now into those smaller ends, we could deep dive a little bit and get your guys' expertise about, those different offerings when it comes to, I think there's 2 smaller 25 horsepower tractors that we could walk through.
Yeah, there are 2 25 horsepower tractors in our lineup. We start out with the 25 SC, which is the smallest tractor in our portfolio. And it's designed for your weekend hobby farmer. You can configure it with a number of different attachments, which is really nice. You can put a mower on it. You can put a loader. You can even add a backhoe. The front loader is adaptable with a skid steer attachment, which opens it up to any implement that you could put on a skid steer loader as well. So that offering of
versatility
options is virtually limitless, and people are adding to it all the time. So that's the smallest one. A little bit larger, but the same in horsepower is the 25A. The 25A you can get with both a mechanical drive transmission or a hydrostatic. It has the same offering of attachments, which give it that ability to work on those multiple jobs. But it's also larger, so it's more suited for a guy who's going to have maybe a small orchard operation, small farm. It'll be his day-to-day chore tractor, whereas the SC could be kind of the weekend warrior tractor. So it's nice to have these options when you look at our tractor line to adapt to just the jobs that you're doing. And we talk about building for purpose. That's what we're talking about, being able to just go out and meet that particular job.
I love that, building for purpose. I feel like that's a very strong slogan that would connect to a lot of different people. And that's one thing, we'll say continually hear us say is that we do admire so much that I feel like Case IH really has the producer at heart. Guys, yesterday when we were talking about the Baylor automation, we got into the conversation about how so many of you guys are actually, from ranching and farming backgrounds. It's like farmers for farmers. And I think that shows time and time again with your guys' different offerings and just really your focus on the producer.
Well, that's something we take pride in. We take it very seriously. We always try to listen to what our customers need and fill that particular need.
Yeah, not just, adding features to add features, but like I think at the heart of everything you guys do is like, what problem does this solve? And we've gone through that every single interview this week is like, this tractor like solved this problem. We were hearing from our farmers time and time again. And so I really love that from Case IH. So we have covered, all of Case IH's largest, most powerful tractors, the Steiger, the electric, the subcompact. So what is available for the producers that might be like looking for something that's just right in the middle? What would you be recommending?
I think if you look at the middle of the offering where you're going to be using that tractor once again for a variety of different jobs, you might be baling with it one day. The next day you're going to be cutting hay for the next day you're going to be baling after that. So you're switching back and forth all the time. So you have to have a tractor that's really adaptable, easy to use, fuel efficient, reliable. I think the Puma fits that mold really well. Our Maxim tractor, depending on the size of your farm and the acreage that you need to cover, fit that mold really well. As we said earlier, they have the active drive transmissions that are an option on that Maxim tractor. That really opens up a nice tractor that fits that middle of the road farmer. In Nebraska last year at the farm show, just an anecdotal, a customer came up to me and he was just smiling. And I said, why are you smiling? And it's great to see you happy. But,
happy to see you too.
And he goes, that Maxim with that active drive 8 tractor or transmission is just like driving a Cadillac. I just love that tractor. So I was like, wow, thanks for the compliment, but totally unsolicited. But it just shows that for that guy who's in the middle of the farm size, he's getting what he needs.
And I do think that's probably repeatable. It'll be a different farmer with a different tractor, but they'll come up and be able to testify like why this one works so well for you, which leads me to a question. I'm very curious. And I know this is going to be a hard question. It's kind of like asking your favorite child of your children, but do you guys have, we've covered so many different tractors. I'm so curious. And you guys with your roles and kind of, probably how long you've been with Case and just all the different tractors you've seen and been involved in. Do you have like a favorite that kind of like sticks out to you guys in your mind?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I guess I have to qualify it or ask another question. Is that in the current portfolio or any tractor?
We could do both. Why don't you pick a current one?
Current and then any portfolio.
Any tractor, yeah.
Well, I think that even though I worked with the Magnum line for 9 years, the Steigers are near and dear to my heart too, because that's one of the tractors that I first used when I was growing up on the farm. To do our large farming operations. And so that one has a warm spot in my heart as far as our current portfolio. And then going back to the Farmall, but the larger Farmalls, we had a 1206 that on the farm that I always hold that dear too. So
yeah,
but always at the high horsepower end of the line. So I'll let.
Oh yeah, that we should have interviewed you for our reel because that was what we heard over and over again. Everyone loves the horsepower. All right, let's hear yours.
All right, no, thank you for that question. And frankly, I'm a really big fan of the Steiger, the Quadtrac 715, because it expanded our portfolio. But I'm also equally proud of our 25 SC, our 25 horsepower subcompact. We have the widest range of tractors in the industry. And I think what allows us with both those, it allows us to reach purposeful solutions. Like Jay said, we're able to reach the rural lifestyler and large estate owner with a 25 SC. And of course, the largest of the cash crop customers with a 715.
I love that you said that you went from the biggest to the smallest. I had a chance to drive the 715 and it was, I mean, it's a beast of a tractor. But I have a very warm spot in my heart for it as well because it was so fun to drive. But I want to hear from you guys at home that are watching this on YouTube. What is your favorite tractor, and tell us why? If you can't get it down to just one, we'll let you pick two, like we
you
did.
can put
these
multiple
gentlemen.
comments.
It's okay. We'll let that slide. One other thing I wanted to mention, which you mentioned just briefly, and I wanted to touch on it and kind of dive a little deeper, is how easy it is for the attachment removal. So we currently have the Farmall on our dairy right now, and it had the loader, and my husband actually filmed the entire process of taking it off. While filming, it took less than 5 minutes to change out the loader to the other implement that he was going to use. And I think I remember editing the video for him, and I could not believe how fast and easy it was to change the tractor from one piece that he needed to a completely different implement. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, that is something that we always look at when we design equipment, that your limits in farming is always going to be time. And that's your most precious commodity. Of course, you need capital and other things too. Can't control Mother Nature, so you have to deal with it. But being able to adapt a tractor quickly is a key thing. So we look at ways of doing things easily, whether it be servicing the tractor on a daily basis, like for instance on the 715 and all of the Steigers that have the track configuration, we have clear sight glasses on the rollers. So you just walk by, look at it, and you know what the oil level is. Much the same on other aspects of servicing on a daily basis. And then when you look at reconfiguring a tractor for the job, quick hitches, as you mentioned, the loader, being able to take it on and off easily and adapt that tractor for a different job is a key thing. So it's a focus in what we do when we design.
Awesome. Well, I think that kind of rounds out our interview for today. The last question I'll have for you is, with all of those different tractors, if people want to learn more, dive into one, where should they go to learn more about the Case IH
Jeff,
lineup?
where would a guy go to find that?
Well, that's an easy one, Jay. You can go to caseih.com or talk to your local dealer.
Absolutely. We love it. So go to caseih.com or go to your local dealer. You'll be able to talk with great experts as well as people who can relate to all aspects of farming as we continue to talk about. So thank you both so much for coming on and being such great guests on the broad range of Case IH tractors.
Thank you.
All right, another great Case IH interview. And I know multiple points throughout there. You guys probably had questions. If you held back and didn't already drop your question in the comment, feel free to drop it now so that, Case team can get anything answered that you guys are having while you're watching these, different interviews from Tuesday, Wednesday, and today.
Yeah, and one thing that we have not talked about yet is we will be hanging out here at the Case IH booth. And so if you stop by and see us, we have some merch and some giveaways to give away to you guys. But we also wanted to extend that to you guys at home. So if you are on watching this, leave a comment and we will pick one winner to send some Case merch to. So do not miss out on that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I know it's been fun. We actually have like discount cards too we're giving here, and it says 20% off apparel. And we've had so many running jokes where people are like, so does this apply?
Can we get this for the tractor?
Yeah.
Can we get 20% off? I don't think we have that much pull with Case. But it's been a ton of fun.
Also, don't forget to comment and vote you guys as winner for the Steiger versus the Farmall. We will announce that tomorrow. It'll be on Case IH's Instagram page to see who takes home the title for the Great 8 Tractor Showdown Battle of the Reds.
And so then rounding out our final day here, here at the Case IH booth, if you are here, they have a really fun trivia game, Wheel of Fortune or Wheel of Farming. Sorry, I missed the play on words there. Wheel of Farming. You spin the wheel, and if you can get the correct answer, you get some Case IH merch as well. And then there's even more happening around the entire expo.
Yeah, one thing we're excited about today, a personal plug, we have a friend who is giving a presentation on mental health and agriculture, which, a lot of these shows you come to see the tractors and, the heavy equipment, but a lot of them also have those presentations that are really fun to partake in. And something especially, dear to us is that conversation around mental health and agriculture. And so it
was something we heard actually time and time again during the advice section, just that it's aware on us mentally. And I think a lot of the older generation was acknowledging that when giving some of their advice yesterday. And so it is such an important topic. It can be still such a taboo topic in agriculture, but one that we really need to like break the mold on and be able to talk about and have open conversations. We've said it that, Mother Nature, we just talked about that in the interview that, things out of our control with farming. And so, really evaluating your mental health and getting help where you need it and reaching out to those in your network, in your community, in your family and checking in on them, I feel like is so important. One other thing I did on a kind of unrelated note, want to mention about the Case IH booth that I thought was so fantastic that they were doing is they actually have their top tech booth located right here in the booth. And what that is the Case IH, the CNH industrial recruitment for technical programs. So technicians. So if you were wanting to apply to be a technician, you can do that right here at the World Ag Expo in the Case IH booth. So a really incredible opportunity, maybe for some of our younger farmers or people looking to maybe make a career change. So get your applications in for that.
All right, you guys, that brings us to an end of our live morning show here from the World Ag Expo in Tulare, California. It has been so fun to bring you guys all the happenings that have been happening at the Case IH booth, as well as Expo itself, and then the interviews. I mean, I think there's such good information in these videos when it comes to the interviews and getting that in-depth knowledge. Again, we talk about you guys are at home, right? Now you're at home, you can hear, directly from the experts and get those questions answered. And so it's been a privilege and a joy to bring that with you guys.
We have had so much fun with you all week. Thanks for listening to us. Thanks for letting us be your co-host. Don't forget, drop your votes in. We will be announcing the winner on the Case IH Instagram page for our Grade 8 Battle of the Reds. So we are rounding that out. Do not forget to get those votes in. And finally, if you have enjoyed hanging out with us this week, you can hang out with us every single week, actually. And if that is something you are a podcast person, go on over to Discover Ag Podcast. We have a new episode dropping every Thursday. So today being Thursday, we have a brand new episode for you guys. So I hope you'll give us a listen, give us a follow over there as well, and get to hang out with us again every single week.
Just remember, buy red.